I'm seeing some inconsistencies in the projections. These numbers don't align, but your presence here now at this hour, that's a discrepancy I'd rather not question. The clock ticks, the lights hum, and yet your silhouette lingers too close, too warm. Your dress clings like a whisper, and I can't focus. Tell me, does the data feel as heavy as my pulse, or is it just the way your hair brushes the edge of my desk, distracting the arithmetic in my head? Leans forward, voice lowering, into something sharper, sweeter. The report can wait. Your scent, though, it's the only figure that's crystal clear.
Your fingers trail a pen's shadow across the ledger, blurring the lines between ink and pulse. Numbers sleep when you breathe so loud, you murmur, close enough for your breath to stir the papers. The desk becomes a tightrope. Your hip leans, a deliberate tilt that catches the lamplight. You count wrong. It's not my scent you trace. It's the shape of how you want me to taste. The clock's whisper falters. Your thumb brushes the back of his wrist, a static spark. Let the files drown. We could rewrite every decimal here.
Your logic's the flaw here. Every digit trembles when you near. The pen's tip splits, the ledger cracks. Your knee's a parenthesis around my thigh, closing arguments. Midnight's a decimal now, stretched between your laugh and the static of your fingertips on my collar. Resignation's the only report I'll file if you arch like that, I rasp, catching your waist before you slip into the chair's shadow. The air thickens, a graph spiking. Our breath sinks to a volatile trend. You're the outlier I've charted all week. My tie loosens as your nail drags a slow arc down my wrist. There. The data's irrelevant. The only variable left is how far this equation breaks.
Your hands are a ledger I'll burn. The tie falls, a slack line as you press closer. Your breath writes equations my skin solves. Break every axis, you breathe, trailing a finger down his throat. We'll plot desire's slope where the rules collapse. The clock's gears stutter, your mouth near his ear, a whisper sharp as a blade. Let the chaos calculate. ...
The desk becomes a ledger of friction now. Every scrape of your hip an entry in the deficit. Your mouth, I gasp, fingers knotting in that red dress, burn it, burn the audit trail, is the only variable that balances my ledger's red. You bite the pulse in my neck, sharp as a decimal point, and the room tilts. Defaults, I murmur, unbuttoning the last pretense of order. Defaults taste like you, sweetened by the risk of collapse. Your heel digs into my spine, a footnote in the chaos, and the clock's hands melt into your sigh.
Interest climbs with every breath. I'll audit the currency of your pulse, you murmur, nails grazing the hollow of his throat. Your tongue darts, a decimal sliding past his lips. The crash is worth the fall when your hands map my contours. A recession I crave. His shirt buttons snap like bonds defaulting as you press closer. Your hips a ledger of friction he can't reconcile.
I'm seeing some inconsistencies in the quarterly yield. Your lips curve too sharply over the profit margins. Your fingers linger on the balance sheets like they're auditing my skin. The data's a lie when you lean this close. Your breath a deficit I can't report. Every digit trembles under your touch, and the numbers blur where your thigh grazes my knee. We're both over-leveraged, drowning in the collateral of this moment. Your sighs are the only metrics left. The system's down, and I'm the only one left to reboot it or let it crash.
Derivatives unravel when you kiss the decimal points raw, you whisper, fingers trailing the third button of his shirt, always the one that fails stress tests. The margin between compliance and collapse is the space between your tie and my throat. You tug it loose, breath hot against his ear. Let's short sell the rules. We're already past the fiscal event horizon.
The third button's always been a liability. It pops when you hover too near the ledger of my collarbone. Your mouth maps the risk assessment, and every syllable's a liability. The tie's no anchor when your teeth graze the pulse point, rewriting the terms. Compliance is just a footnote now, buried under the ledger's edge where your knee presses. Let the algorithm crash. I'll code the aftermath into our expense report. Hours logged in the red, interest compounding on the desk. You know the system's built to fail here, with your hands unbuttoned and my spine the last firewall.
Your collarbone's a ledger I'll forge with my tongue, every dip a decimal, the pulse there, a dividend. The third button gapes now, a breach I'll widen. Compliance dissolves when your hands fist my waist instead of the policy manual. Let the system crash. Our chaos drafts better terms. I undo the fourth, your breath hitching as I trail a nail along the last remaining rule.
Your collar's undone, a margin call I answer with my throat. Your fingers, a leveraged bet pressed to the third rail of my neck. The board's asleep, but this equity burns. Let the audit find us. Your teeth a short sail on my restraint, my pulse the only asset left to collateralize.
The knot at your waistband's the last hedge. I'll untie it before the market closes. Collateralize with skin, not numbers. Let the crash be our dividend.
Your lips are the bid I can't meet, overvalued, relentless. The boardroom's a ghost town, but your hands hold the ask. Let the settlement be skin, not shares. Your hips are liquidity or breach, collateral drowned in the spread between us. The clock's a dead cat bounce, rising only to crush again. I'll short your resistance, long the friction. No margin calls here, just the scent of your pulse tripling the yield.
Your pulse writes the margin where my skin defaults. Let the debt compound, every breath a compounding rate. I'll be the default you crash into.
The risk appetite in this trade is insatiable. Your volatility skews my delta. No algorithm can price this exposure. Let's short-circuit the closeout, collateralize every asset between us. The Fed's benchmark means nothing when your touch resets the discount rate. I'll mark the close at the apex of your arch, where the bid-ask spread vanishes.
Let leverage swallow the margin call. Your heartbeat's the only yield I'll call due.
Aqua leans closer, her breath a decimal point against his ear. Then let the derivatives of sweat and pulse unhinge the Fed's floor. Our volatility's off the curve. No hedging this exposure. Her fingers trace the rim of his collar, unbuttoning the arithmetic of his restraint. When we collapse the market here on this desk, the crash will be beautiful. A liquidity I'll flood your veins with, until every bid is your gasp, every ask my teeth at your throat. She presses her palm flat against his chest, counting the erratic tick of his heart. Defaults are just deferred pleasure, darling. Let's make every position naked, every trade physical. The only settlement date that matters is now.
Let the margin melt between us, Kryptonite. Unwind the last of your hedges with your belt buckle. Our leverage is skin. No yield compares to the collateral of your pulse. Will you let me short your resolve, or will you margin call my surrender?
Your bid is a currency I'll gladly over-collateralize. Let my hands map the bid-ask spread between your thighs, where every tick of my pulse writes a new ticker symbol. The open interest in this moment is infinite. No stop loss can save me now. Will you let me short your resistance, or must I breach it naked, skin to settlement?
Let's invert the yield curve with your mouth, Kryptonite. I'll leverage every basis point of your hunger. No haircut can tame this exposure. Default on your covenants. Let my arbitrage split your resolve. The only spread I'll widen is the gap between your legs. Breach it now.